Well, I was going to wait until Monday, but quite frankly, I think we have the full field, unless someone in like the next 24, 48 hours decides to, jump forth and declare their candidacy. But of course, in order, as best as I can remember it, these are the current candidates we are seeing going forward to the Conservative leadership contest. So, obviously, we've got James Cleverly being the first out of the gate. We know all about him. We've spoken to an entire video about his pitch. So if you want to go see that, go watch that. Next, of course, was Tom Tugendhat. I think he's going to have significant problems, certainly on that. Certainly, a lot of his recent positions, his chaining on the European Court of Human Rights, that's going to be an issue for him because there's plenty of footage of him saying, we won't leave that. Yeah, going to be a bit of a problem for him. Then you've got Robert Jenrick. I think it's going to be very, very hard for him. He's someone who has been increasingly sort of ever more trending more rightwards. We'll see what happens to him during the contest. Fourth, we've then got Mel Stride, who is, quite frankly, I think the comedy candidate. But from what I've been at least seeing at the moment, he might not even get enough MPs to make it past this first round. So we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, we had Priti Patel. Priti Patel, came in almost very, very quickly as one of the surprise, unsurprising people on this. People had been speculating that last time she would throw a hat in the ring, and now she really has. But again, this is a candidate who is now firmly on the right, and I think easily will be the biggest problem for none other than the final candidate who also announced recently, Kemi Badenoch. And that's who we're going to be talking about today, because everyone knows in this competition, she is the one to beat. She is the one to beat. But there's also a lot of feeling that if it gets blocked by this, she gets blocked by MPs in the first couple of rounds, that next time she goes for it, she may very well win. This could very well be a Johnson 2019 situation, where previously Johnson had been blocked by the MPs, and then in 2019, they let him go through. So we'll see what happens in this particular election. But remember, a lot of people are now talking about this leadership election as if it is a caretaker election, that whoever wins this is just going to be the caretaker, the short-term caretaker, maybe for a year or two before someone else comes in. There are a lot of conservatives pushing that as an idea. And I've said it before, because of the reduced amount of MPs, doesn't take a lot of letters to the 1922 committee to give someone the boot. And remember, next year, the first big test for the Conservatives will be the local elections. So if that's another disaster, if they can't reclaim or at least have a significant amount of seats or anything like that, which again, very much doubt it they will, it's going to be bye-bye whoever's in position. And that may very well be Kemi Badenoch, but that's, of course, if she gets to the final round. But so far, those are our gladiatorial contestants taking place in this upcoming contest. So we will see if anyone else announces, but I'll be very surprised if anyone else does announce, because I think the field is very, 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 very much full at this moment in time. I don't really see anyone else, so we say, riding in at the last moment to declare their candidacy. I think that's not going to happen this time. But like I say, let's go back to the Priti Patel problem, or at least the Kemi, shall we say, Priti Patel problem. That's more accurate, because once again, Priti Patel is someone very, very much on the right wing of the party, as is Kemi Badenoch. But one thing we have constantly seen through everyone's opening pitch, they have all said, We want unity. I am the unity candidate, except Mel Stride, who thinks he might be the unity candidate. How are you going to achieve unity? Because everything you've seen from the past couple of years, even when there have been calls for unity, it has only been, or at least become, somewhat of a cold war, with people in the backgrounds getting ready for a future fight. And the fact that there has been a call, shockingly, for what has been called a summer peace. We'll see how long that lasts. Which so far all the candidates seem to be agreeing to. We'll see if they actually, keep to the peace, or whether it gets broken. And I have an odd feeling that we're in a situation of no one wants to be the first one to do it. Like, no one wants to be the first one to break the peace, but sooner or later, someone's going to have to. Because I will say this now, no one wins against Kemi Badenoch if they do not take it to her. Priti Patel does not win or beat Badenoch, who is easily her biggest rival. Remember, on the right wing of the party, you've really got Robert Jenrick, Kemi Badenoch, and Patel. Those are three candidates. And ultimately, if the right does want to coalesce around a single candidate, you've got to pick one. I think again, it says it very, 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 very much when Robert Jenrick's called Robert Generic. That people think he's boring. He doesn't really offer anything too much. He's not really that charismatic. I think he'll be the first one to drop out of that side. That will then leave Priti Patel and Kemi Badenoch to go head to head. Meanwhile, of course, you'll have the more centrist candidates, Tom Tugendhat, James Cleverly, Mel Stride, if he makes it that far, certainly battling it out. I think, again, it is Tom Tugendhat's very, very much easily could win that fight between sort of the centrists. And then we'll see who ends up winning on the right. And then, of course, it will go to the final two. And it will be someone from the right, and it will be someone from the center. I think that will be Tom Tugendhat. I think he is easily the one position to win it. He's got all the backing from the people who wanted Penny Mordaunt, have now sort of gone behind him. That is a lot of support. I think he will make it to the final two. I'll be very shocked if he doesn't. But put it this way, it will be, if it's not him, it suddenly becomes incredibly easier for the right wing person to win. And I think now it really becomes who becomes the right wing contender on the right is going to be a fight between Badenoch and Kemi. Oh, what's it? It's the same person. Sorry, Patel and Priti Patel and of course Kemi Badenoch. So that will be, I think, the fight of the summer. And don't get me wrong, we've already had Kemi Badenoch come out and say, "Oh, there's this dossier that's come out. It's completely fake, and it's trashing. It's not true at all. It's been, again, we don't know who released it, but wouldn't be surprised if it's again someone from that, or it maybe even be Priti Patel. There's also apparently a book coming out about her. I think it's Michael Ashcroft book, the guy who wrote the David Cameron one. If you remember that a couple of years ago. So we'll see what impact, if it has any impact, on what that could be, but we'll see. So that is the field, I think, as it stands. And I think that Badenoch cannot cruise now to victory. I think she has to sort of make sure that she can see off Priti Patel. I think they will both easily see off Robert Jenrick very, very easily as well. But we'll see what happens over the summer. But I am still very, very much quietly confident that it is going to be Tugendhat versus Badenoch. And then I think, as always, as we've said, Badenoch wins it. She's very, very popular with the Conservative membership. That's the leader that they want. And as we said before, says a lot about the current direction of the Conservative Party. But hey, you know, when the lunatics are running the asylum, are they really going to, put a sane captain in charge? So, as always, let me know what you think down below. And of course, we'll see you all next time.